Hello and welcome to the Late Night Laundry. Thank you for joining us again this week. You can look forward to field stripping the Medela breast pump, the dirty diaper cycle and how to break it, the perfect swaddle technique, or half swaddle as I call it, and the baby jitsu. We have 3 moves for you this week, so let's get started. Hello viewers. The first part of our series is going to be field stripping the Medela breast pump, which, make no mistake, you will be using in the field, as it were. Not me, obviously, because unlike Jack says to Greg in Meet the Parents, I have nipples, but they'll never produce milk. So my wife will be using that. But you will be using this in the field. Maybe you'll have something similar to a field kit like this. And what we're going to be doing tonight is field stripping the parts and putting it together. So I'm going to use a sleep mask to cover my eyes because I actually enjoy torturing myself with the distant memory of sleep. So here goes. Got my pad laid out here. Let's see, I got some components here. So the first thing we have here is actually the main pump component. This guy. And we've also got suction tubes, which are very important to use, and power. Now we've got the main components which attach to the breasts. Extremely important parts here. So you've got bottles here. Let's see, holders for the bottles to stabilize them. Okay, so got these little orifice-y things which have to go into there, and then you need to sort of close that like so. And then we've got this guy here. It's a 24 millimeter nipple suction cup. This creates the basic principle, and then you have to screw your bottle onto it like so. And you've got a nice holder here which your bottle sets into, and then you can attach your tubing to it. So this here is a 5-ounce bottle, and you, at peak production, you could probably get just about that much out of each breast. Hey. So very quickly to wrap up, so now we're going to stick our tube here in the end of that, and then what you can do if you're just pumping one breast, you can attach your tube here to the suction cup, and then you can take the other tube and either attach it to the other suction cup, or you can stick it in there so the line is complete and you can suction only on one. So thank you for joining me for the field stripping of the Medela breast pump. Very important part of feeding your baby. Hello. The next topic I want to cover, now that I've got some more coffee, the lifeblood of the exhausted parent, is what I like to call the dirty diaper cycle. There are a lot of things that contribute to parental exhaustion, and you love your baby as much as I do, I'm sure. But one of those things is a controllable, and it helps me to think about it in terms of cycles and phases. So what I'm talking about here, let me move these candles. Forgotten dinners we used to have together. This is what I like to call the dirty diaper cycle. So what you've got here are the 4 phases of wake, feed, change, and sleep. And these are the 4 phases of the dirty diaper cycle. Now, baby wakes up, they're probably crying or they're giving you hunger cues, so you feed them, right? Typically at the end of that feed, you'll change their diaper and then you'll put them down to sleep. These are the 4 phases. Now, the problem with this is that it contributes to exhaustion, basically, because baby becomes uncomfortable during the night, and you have to get up and calm them down and console them. So what you need to do is really try and break the dirty diaper cycle. And the way that you do that is if you look at this inner red line here, you'll see that during the wake period here, what you're going to want to do is check that dirty diaper or wet nappy before you start the feed phase. That ensures that you have a clean diaper going into the feed phase. And if baby's fussy or uncomfortable during that diaper change, they'll get a little bit of that out. So then you start the feed phase. But here's the key. Don't wait until the end of the feed phase to change that diaper. What you need to do is plan your feed phase so that you stop somewhere in the middle or maybe towards the end to change that dirty diaper. And you'll know because you'll hear it. You'll hear it. Then, theoretically, and actually I have been able to put this in practice so it does work, when baby goes down, you'll be able to put them down with a clean diaper and they'll sleep, hopefully all the way through this check, which sometimes is needed, and they'll sleep all the way through this period without having any fussiness, without getting up, therefore giving you a longer period of sleep as well, and your wife. So this is how you should be able to break the dirty diaper cycle and hopefully have a more comfortable and happy baby, better sleeper, and get a little bit of sleep yourself. Hello all. I'm now going to talk about what I like to call the perfect swaddle technique. It's a variation on the normal swaddle. But if you have a baby like mine who does not want their hands bound in a straitjacket-like pose, this is the one for you. So the way that you start is with your standard swaddle pose. We've got a muslin blanket here, got your corner here, got your corner over here, and then I've got the other corner folded down right here. So we've got a borrowed monkey here, which my son Alistair cannot play with yet, so I'm sure he doesn't mind. Hey monkey. So what you're gonna do is take your baby and put him in a standard swaddle position, just like this. His hands can be wherever. Right now is fine. But if he has fallen limp and has fallen asleep, you're gonna wanna move one arm up as you come over with your first corner. So you move your corner over here like this, his arm can go back down. Then you move your other corner back up like this, and this is part of the key here. You don't want to cover his shoulder when you have your other corner. You want to just sort of tuck it on his stomach right there. So you've got this bunch over here, and then you've got your final corner. So you're going to take this last corner, lift his other arm up like this, put his arm down, and you can take this last corner, and this is where you've got to employ subtle hands subtle hands technique. You've got to be able to lift his bum a little bit, or hers, and sort of quickly slide that last corner underneath him, so he's properly swaddled. So this will allow their hands to remain free for thrashing about or whatever in the night. And hopefully they won't wake up because they're in fear of having been confined to a straitjacket before their time. So this is the half swaddle technique, and thank you for joining me. Okay, so time for some baby jitsu. So I am still just a mustard seed yellow belt in baby jitsu, but I'm working towards my brown belt, which will hopefully happen soon. So tonight I want to cover 3 moves again. One of them that has become near and dear to my heart is what we call the reverse yin yang, and that starts out right here in praying mantis, which you might notice is kind of a cornerstone of baby jitsu. So it starts out in praying mantis, and then what you want to do is you want to yin yang. So you want to move baby's head from one side to the other for whatever reason. So what you want to do is start in praying mantis. You want to slide your hand out to support their head, and then you want to simply change position just like that. Once in this position, you can reorient this hand and slide back down. You'll notice this is an interchangeable position, so you can actually go the other way as well. So this is the reverse yin yang. Now, another one that I like to talk about is what I call the parasite. This is a really important one. Let's say that I'm sitting down, and babies are often really comfortable on your chest like this, so my baby is. Let's say you've got your little guy here like a parasite. He's just attached to you. And you want to move him as little as possible before you get up to put him in the crib or the bassinet. So this is tricky because it really takes a lot of practice, a lot of training in the lower legs and in the core of your body. Because what you got to do is you got to support their bum here and then support their head here. Hold the little parasite close to your chest. And then what you have to do is keep your back straight, and then you have to lean up, and then you have to, all in one motion, set up nice and slow to be able to carry baby off. This is a very important part of baby jitsu, and seeing, it may not be as flashy as some of the other moves, but it's still very important. The last one I want to talk about is what we call, what my brother-in-law Sean calls the potted plant technique. This one here. Babies in this early stage are a lot like potted plants. They're often bound in some way. They don't really know how to use their bodies. If they can sneak and wiggle into a crevice, then that's kind of a recipe for a nice little nap. So what you want to do is, if you're on a couch or in a chair or something like that, you want to be able to pot the baby into a position where they kind of slip into a crevice, or they maximize however much crevicey feeling they can get. So if I'm in a couch, I'll kind of try and slip baby down into between the arm of the couch and my body like this, all while supporting them like this. And what that does is makes them feel very cozy and sort of wrapped up. But they're potted. They're potted like a plant. They can't really move that much. They can't really move their legs. So you can use that in many different ways. Sometimes it's just as much as like really just potting them, getting them nice and secure. So that's it. Thank you for joining me for Baby Jitsu and the rest of everything tonight. Huge shout out also to my sister-in-law Allie for explaining how to use the Medela breast pump in the first place, which I had no idea how. and hope to see you next week.